Hey guys, we're finally back again online to do some new streaming on building up this Gyancelot. As you can see, I've started doing some of the disassembly to start painting. However, a couple things we still need to do, one of which we're going to do tonight, which is make the two parts for the cape. Been sort of doing some prep work for that, one of which was doing sort of a test part using a combination of epoxy putty and wax paper. For the most part, it came out pretty well. One side I put down a little bit of alcohol to help smooth it out, and the other I did not. And I don't know how well this is going to show up on camera. It came out a lot rougher. I also picked up a new scriber tool. I won't be using it on this project, but it's something we'll do down the road on probably another project. So, plan for tonight is we're first going to do some more painting work on the base. This time focusing more on some of the harder high definition ridges and edges, give them a little more pop. So to that end, we're going to be adding in, using sky gray again, but this time we're going to be adding a lot more. We're going to be adding in some white to it. I figure we'll start with about a 50-50 mixture, and we'll dry brush this on. And once that's on, we'll let it dry, and then next time we'll come back in, and I think we'll go with a pure white and just hit ever so slightly, get the edge points on it. Also using a little bit of a smaller brush tonight to get this done. So let me adjust the camera, see if I can adjust the camera a little more. I was using it for a different thing and haven't fully got it back in position again. So I do apologize for not doing a build stream in a long while. Part of it has been because I was working on Spitfire for IPNS San Diego, and now that that's done, now that that's done, we can, go back to working on this because we're not in any kind of time crunch at the moment. Well, at least beyond getting this done for SG SoCal Gundam. Apologize for sounding a little frazzled. Just trying to count and talk. Unfortunately, that's sometimes a little hard to do. Okay. Let's mix this up and we'll get to dry brushing. Oh, yeah, that's going to be a nice color, I think. I want to make sure this is nice, thoroughly mixed. Since it's a 50-50 ratio, adding more won't hurt and be easy enough to do. I'm going to try to get as much as I can off there so we don't waste any. Then I'm just using a tissue off screen to get a decent amount of the excess off. Okay. It's going to go in one direction, right along the edges. I'm going to try to keep this as parallel to the edges as I can. I do want to show signs of wear. So obviously all the edges are going to pick up wear far more so than the flat points. And obviously also the recesses are going to be far darker. Okay, pick up some more paint. So, as I was saying, haven't worked on this in part because I needed to get a few things, test some things. I was working with the paint, ran into a bit of an issue. Unfortunately, hadn't been able to fully resolve it. So I was planning to go with a fairly. That came out way too strong. Damn it. So I'm gonna try and blend this. I was thinking I may have to come back and do repair work and whatnot later, but now we'll just see what happens. It's, in some ways it does make it a little, I guess you could say, more realistic, simply because you're not going to have, perfect uniformity across it. You're going to have, areas that are more done than others. And so in some ways it might be a good thing. Simply because it will help add a little more definition and less uniformity. Because you never really see perfect uniformity in nature. A little streaking, a little more wear here and there. Probably not going to hurt too much. Seems like there are a couple of bristles on this brush here. It's taking out a little more than others. I will admit, though, this is an older brush, so okay. Try and blend a little more. think that's looking pretty good. Mostly once this thing fully dries, we'll be able to better have an idea. There we go. Main thing is just patience and building this up. So as I was saying, I haven't really used streaming because of getting ready for IPMS. That fortunately did take up a lot of my time. Okay, man, I need a little more paint. Yeah, this need to spritz out just a tad more as this has started to dry a little on me. It's one nice thing about the Vallejo bottles is that they do make it easy to measure out some paint without having to, go through a lot of hassle. Oops, put out a little too much paint. This might be just a tad more white than the first batch, but it's okay. It'll all sort of blend together in the end. Okay. Switch to a clean section of the tissue. I'm going to get as much of this paint off as I can, and we'll continue. All right, you can kind of see some of the areas that have started drying. Just gonna go back over some of these to give a little more definition. And make them stand out a little more. Another very nice thing about doing this is it does help break up and make all the stones more unique. Like this one, I can maybe make things a little more whiter, weathered, and that'll make it more organic and natural looking. In the day, that's the main thing we're going for. Now try and make it look real. Okay. See how that's overall doing. Just taking a second to step back. There we go. I think that's looking pretty good. Yeah, I like that. So yeah, I think that will do for that. Now obviously we're gonna have to let this sit, dry up. But yeah, I think once we get everything done, it's gonna look really nice. Oh, okay. So that's done. Let me make sure I got the caps all the way on those because I don't want paint to fall out. Okay. Now's where things are gonna get freaking interesting. Let's get our figure back out. Him close to can. At this point, we've got to make sure, posing wise, got him close to what final will be. At this point, we're going to be basically measuring how long the cape is going to be. Now, help us do this, we're going to be just using some tomato tape. Now, get started. I'm just going to attached. I'm going to do it right up to basically where kit parts would connect in. Oops. Now I can get him sort of situated. There we go. Okay. Going to get him as close as I can. Still sitting a little off. Get him. There we go. I think that's just about as best we're going to get. Now to readjust that. Now, in terms of length, think looking at this, let me slide him over, doing to about here, more or less in line with the knee, is going to be best. Let's go ahead and trim that. Obviously, I have to add a second piece. Oh, just fell. It's all good. Because one thing I noticed was that there is a slight, angular bevel in here, so it's wider at the, it's narrower at the base and wider the furthest down. Okay, that on. Okay. Oops, did not grab. It's close. Okay. This is not the most perfect job, but it's enough to give us a rough approximation. There. Let's bring that down. There. And that looks just about as close as we're going to get. Being perfect. Let me just the camera a little. There we go. Yeah, I think I like that. It's just the right length. Obviously, I don't want something, it's going to be, full floor length, but should be him to sit right. But I think it will add a nice, sort of dramatic effect to it. So now that we've got that on, obviously we're basically going to have to duplicate it. So that's where our wax paper is going to play double duty. I'm going to go ahead and, now that I know about the size we're going to need, trim off size of sheet. It should be more than enough when we both do our double and yeah, that'll work just fine. So I'm just gonna stick this guy on and flip him over. Nice thing about this stuff is we can measure out if we need to, more or less. Oops. There we go. Then I can obviously come back in and trim it more if I need to. This is a nice, cheap method for doing something like this. So in a day, measure twice, cut once. In this case, this will save us time and money and help ensure we get our angle right. Now, alternative to this, it would take a little more time, at least I think would be, and the main issue with this method then would be we can basically would be to roll out our epoxy. Just cut that a little crooked. Okay. Yeah, hang on. We could roll out our epoxy. And then use the Cricut to cut the final shape after scanning in our template. I guess we could also probably use, I think I just cut through the, yeah, I did. I cut through the wax paper. It's okay, it's still good though. There we go. So yeah, now we've got our nice mirror. So, that's done. Next step is going to be to actually make our putty. Oop. I actually had to this is part of the reason why I did not get to this sooner, as the metal putty I had it started to go bad. That's one of this thing with epoxy putty is you have two parts, A and B part, one of which is the hardener, and I guess the hardener on mine started to go. To be blunt, I have no idea how old the bit of metal putty I was using is. So this time I dated and labeled them. Now, my original idea was to basically fold this over, and it might still work. Yeah, that should still work. Now, one thing when we get ready to put it down is we're going to want to put some isopropyl alcohol over this to help it not stick to the plastic. Now, so once we get back, if I need to trim it up any, since we're going to make this fairly thin, actually we are going to trim this plastic and all so that we can get the droop. So we're going to attach it back to the rest of the figure. Excuse me while I put some gloves on. This thing with this epoxy putty stuff, it really likes to stick to you. Now, as I'm mixing, I'm also going to use some isopropyl alcohol on it to help it keep from sticking to the gloves, at least as much as we can. Now, there's no real great science to this. I'm just going to try and ballpark how much we need. Both of them. And then get it off to the second part. Now, do not ask me which part's the A and which part's B. Up there. Okay. Because honestly, I don't know offhand. Now what you do is just start mixing this stuff together. I put a little alcohol on my fingers to help this part. Yeah, this is definitely working out a lot better than the older ones bit I have. No, doesn't mean I can't still use the older one, just for something like this. Just not gonna work. Yep. Move this so it's a little closer. Now, another benefit the alcohol is that it's going to help us smooth out the putty so that we don't have to do as much cleanup later. As I said, will help us get a smooth finish once we stick it to the wax paper. Okay, I think this is just about ready. I'm just going to be very generous with applying this stuff, as the more we do now, the better. Just gonna roughly shape it this stage. Doesn't have to be super perfect. Just trying to make sure we cover the entirety of our template. So once we roll this over, got a rolling pin on me, help us flatten this guy out. Once again, try and keep it getting too thin. Okay, that done. There. Give me a second. Take the gloves off. I need to clean that up. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Now we just sort of roll it on out. Just roll on out. Try to keep it from getting. Oop, shoot. That's not good. Hang on a second. Do this smartly. Going to cut a additional thing. We're going to wrap our main thing into. Just shoot, got some of that epoxy stuff on me. Second. Okay. Now, do a little more rolling. Trying to keep it from. Okay. Now comes the interesting part. I'm trying to keep this as smooth as we can. Looks like it shifted just a tad. Okay, it's in the section I'm probably not going to be really seen. All good. Okay. Just doing a little more hand smoothing. Oop. Okay, got that done. Give me a second to close up the metal putty. This will also give it a minute or two to start sort of setting. I don't want it to be totally loose and essentially fall apart on me. We got to transfer it. Now, okay. Give me a second, I think I'm gonna go a little more. Yeah. Okay. think that's going to be the best we're going to get. Now, come in, Exacto, basically cut this thing out. Since this thing is still very wet, it's going to very easily, or not easily, very carefully run the blade. Okay, done that. Now comes the interesting part. Will this thing stay together? Okay, I think I need to come in and go deeper. Okay, I think that cut through. That's through. This guy is out. All right, give me a second. Set that guy down there. Grab a double shot of tape. I do not want this guy coming free once we get him on. That's that. Go ahead and put this side in like that. Hopefully that will hang on. Okay. Looks like it's hanging on. Set him there for now. Okay, let's go through this guy again. This is going to be one of those critical phases. That is make or break. Okay, that's length free. Okay. I think that's some of the epoxy, not the wax paper. Give me a second. Let me get some more tape together. Get that guy on. Then I think we will be done for the night. Oh, almost got progress shot to show you. Oh, oops, that fell off. That's not good. It's on there. Go. Okay. So hang on there. Like that. Okay, give me a second to do a little cleanup. I do. Right, mess of myself. One downside of working with epoxy putty is it does get messy, to say the least. Okay, got that's sort of on there. Look. It's sort of tight. Yeah, I like that. Back to the front so we can. There we go. Okay, we got those on. Wipe my hands again. This is quite messy. I have done made a real mess. Okay. So, we got that on. Bring this down a little. There. Good enough. So, done that. Got those on. So, one thing I forgot to show you guys at the start of the stream is shield. That was the other thing we need to do tonight. Give me 2 seconds. Play musical stuff. Is got parts of the shield painted up. Found this, like the red and gold, sort of this really looks fantastic, I think. This came out really nice. But also got the shield. Did this side right now. Plan to come back in with a silver or something for those. But tonight the other thing we need to do is mask this off. Is what I'm going to do. Paint the rest of this gold. That off. So yeah, totally forgot we need to do this. Now, the thing we are going to do tonight also, let's try some new masking tape I picked up. So I can get hold of it. You can figure out how to cut it. Okay. Stuff. Fortunately, I don't think I can roll it back up. But I picked up some Hasegawa masking tape. As one of my local hobby stores is having sale. This was new. I figured, you know what? It's small, it's tiny. Stuff like this should work great. We need to grab a fresh blade. Come on, detach. There we go. We'll see how this stuff works. Looks like it's taken down pretty good. Hang on a second. Snip off a bit. See if that works in better. Stuff's supposed to be for use for doing like end striping. I'm gonna lean that guy up against that. Try and make sure he doesn't fall. Yeah, this stuff's not really. I don't think this stuff is gonna work for this application at least. Probably for some other stuff, but yeah, I think for what we're doing tonight, it's not gonna do the trick. Okay, we're gonna go back to initial plan. Was basically this pen, let's basically burnish it down. Yeah, I think now that tape will probably be great for like small pinstripes, on figures. If you need to do a pleated skirt and do some of the stuff like that. Fortunately for this, I don't think it's gonna work super great just because of all the curves. Okay. Down. Okay. So, first one down. Let's see, this is going to take a little while, but it'll be worth it in the end, I assure you guys. This will make things look amazing. In case you guys are wondering, I'm not using any type of special pen or anything. It's just your run-of-the-mill ballpoint pen. And your run-of-the-mill X-Acto blade. Mentioned a little bit ago, I was having some issues with some of the paint. I was doing some fairly extensive, testing to try and get it right. That didn't take all the way. Hang on. I have to do another one. Was specifically in regards to some of the polished metal colors. So, hang on. Yeah, I'm gonna redo that one. As I was saying, in regards to the polished metal colors that you can do the armor parts in, it's having some issues. That trying to get it to go down. Then finally figured out after doing some research I need to get the All-Clad Aqua Gloss. Fortunately, hobby stores around me were all sold out, so I haven't gotten any. Also ready to use Future, which I do have some, but just did a test batch a little while ago. And while it did seem okay to initial touch, when I went to give it a little rougher, it seemed like the Mr. Color Paint ate into the All-Clad, or not the All-Clad, into the Future. Could have been I just didn't allow enough time to dry, or what have you. Oh, sorry, had to adjust a little. It's a little too much. So yeah, once we get this done, I'll go with gold, and I'll show you guys the gold I was thinking of. It's a little different gold from the one we used on that center portion. It's this one. I already glossed it up. I don't know how well this is showing up on camera in terms of white balance. I think this gold will look better for both this framing and for the trim colors, opposed to going with the coarse gold we did with the shield. So I do think it looks quite pretty. But I think just for this purpose, it's not gonna do as well. Right. Oh, in other news, while I'm thinking about it, have not worked on the Alphard body at all since the last stream. Just haven't dealt with it. Got the white primer coat down. Did this not cut it all? Need to do a little prep sanding just to dum up to get it ready for base white. And when that's done, obviously I'll bring it back in after doing God knows how many gloss coats, and then we'll do even more gloss coats after we get the decals on. So yeah, that's going to take some work. Thinking, depending on where we are in the year, because I have a ball project I want to do for SoCal Gundam, since balls is the theme this year. But depending on where we are in time, there's another build I want to do. I don't think it will take super long. And oh yeah, it did a terrible job there. Don't think it'll take super long, and it's pretty much a straight build. I think, maybe 1-2 weeks. But if we're getting closer to November, because I'm going to be out of town in August and again late October for a family trip, and then for my sister's wedding. Though I will be back for SoCal Gundam. In fact, I'm leaving a couple days early from the trip for my sister's wedding to get back for it. Partially also just to make sure I don't have any travel problems. The last couple of times I've had issues. So this is just me doing due diligence to make sure I'm back. Okay. On. Okay, I think what we need to do is get those inner guys. I will admit this is probably not the most interesting stream tonight. Fortunately, this is one of those tedious parts of the build that has to get done. But hey, on the upside, we got the keep on. Once that dries, we can play with it a little more. Worst case, if it's, a little uneven, we can fix that. And if it's how the hell did I screw that up that badly? Oh, that's really off. I don't know how I managed that. So yeah, once these are on. And then this all nice and painted up. Hopefully next stream, or that is, I honestly don't know at this point. Hoping. Come on, stay down. Better, but damn, it does not want to take the contours. Okay. Third time's the charm. Alright, this time I think I'll do instead of the pen, a small screwdriver. Yeah, I think that did a better job here. Alright, so get that in. Hopefully, this time when we pull off the excess, not looking at a horrible mess. Just to come off. There we go. That's better. That's a lot better. Fortunately, some of that epoxy is still on my fingers and they're starting to stick a little. So, hopefully, the cape will turn out. Worst case, we remake it. I'm gonna go straight to this for this guy. This is going to be one of those parts that just you already know is going to give you problems. Go down. Okay. go. Now cut here. Is that? And I'm sure there's got to be an easier way to do this, short of hand brushing. But fortunately, I cannot think of an easy way to do this. Okay, that's might come in there with a little. Hang on a second, I gotta stand up for a second. Back up. Nice thing back up, right? Yeah, I think actually, well, that most of that won't be seen. It'll be blocked by the arm. I'll still come in there with a little liquid mask. Yeah, so once we get done with this, we'll call it a night. This is actually running a little longer than I expected it to go, because I, in all honesty, forgot about needing to do this. But this will give a little more material for you guys to watch. And like I said, it's been a little while, so make up for like streaming by going a little longer. That's all down. There. Should be able to now just tweezer that a little bit out. Yeah. There we go. Itch. Okay. Oh, shoot. That shifted. Dang it. Yeah, that totally screwed that up. Shoot. And it pulled up. Shit. Okay. We got an issue. I think I may need to go pull all that masking up to see if the rest of it got screwed up. Ah, dang it. Alright, well, looks like we're going to be stopping here tonight, as I'm going to have to go back and fix that, and possibly others. So, yeah, unfortunately, these things happen. So, like I said, not sure when the next stream will be, but hopefully it'll be sometime soon. So, until next time.